Well, good morning. I figured I'd take you on a real estate tour today. I got 3 projects that I'm gonna go through. 2 of them are still kind of in process. The one I'm at now, I'm gonna show you first, is one that we're in the middle of the remodel. Kind of a unique style house, and we're gonna actually remodel this one and keep it as a rental. So this will be the first one. So you just want to check on the progress. Also need to check on the countertops to see what I want to do as far as the kitchen countertops, and we'll kind of talk through it as we go through it. So let's jump out the truck and go see what's going on at this job. Just kind of walking up, you see it's kind of tucked in here off the street. So a nice quiet spot, actually sits behind some of the other houses you can see there. And there's a house on that side. So this one actually sits back, which I like. We got our beware of dogs sign for the bad guys. Won't break in and steal any stuff while at the job site, even though this is a good area. It's kind of a carriage style house. The weird thing is that down here, it's a really low ceiling, as you're gonna see, but I think it'll end up being a good rental. I paid $135,000 for this house, and they're in the middle of the remodel, which makes me wonder, it's about 10 o'clock in the morning on a Friday. Where's my crew at? So we'll have to dig into that. This is kind of what it looks like. On the back here, we've been doing some woodwork, and just kind of see the progress here. So that's all looking good. Hasn't started painting the outside yet. Actually, a little bit of paint looks like. That's looking good. All right, well, let's go inside and see what the inside looks like. See, we replaced some of the deck boards. That's looking good. We're not going through and just rebuilding this deck. As I mentioned, this is a rental. So main thing is I want it safe, secure, and I want it clean. So it's all looking pretty good. Had some rotten wood in there that we took care of. That's looking good. Here's our view on our deck. There's the neighbors over there. So the road is way back off there in the distance. So we're right in the city, very central to everything here in the city, but still has some nice privacy. There's the other side. All right, let's go take a look. So now we're inside, just kind of checking to see what the guys have accomplished since I was here last time. So they've done some painting, and they patched a spot there in the wall where there used to be a window. Looks good in the bathroom. Got a new vanity in here. Looks good. We actually closed in a window there, and now we're gonna paint it up and get the tub refinished and get the tile all painted the same color. So that'll look great. This is all looking good. Kind of surprised they're not farther along though. We got some wood rot there. Zoom in a little for you. Wood rot there. I think it's just from the door, getting some water in it. Here's something I have to look at. So we got some cabinet doors coming. So those are ordered. And I'm gonna replace this countertop. And I was surprised how expensive this countertop was. But I did price with a couple of different vendors, which I always encourage you to do that, especially when you're new. Price with 3 different vendors, see what it comes in at. And my question here is this sink. And so I think I'll look and see if I can save a few $100, but nope. I see the rust on there. That might clean off, but it's looking kind of dingy. By the time we put new granite in here, it's gonna look bad if we don't do something with the sink. So we'll replace the sink there. So I'll let my granite guy know. Got a little small room here, not quite big enough for a bedroom. I think a bedroom, my code is 7 by 7. That's, I think it's 6.5 by 7. Another little, this is also actually to me be a really cool little office area. So you got your office spot in here, or bedroom. You got a little spiral staircase downstairs. So that's the view looking back. In the living room, you got your kitchen over there. And here, you got a little spiral staircase, which is, I think, cool. Office here, maybe a small bedroom there. Thought about blowing this wall out, but making it one big room. I'm just gonna leave it like it is. So let's go downstairs. Here's kind of where it gets a little bit weird in that the ceilings are really low, but they're not so low that you can't live in here, but this is where the bedroom is. So it makes it a little bit challenging. All right, so this is I'm just under 6 foot. So probably 6.5 foot in here. So ceilings aren't overly low, but they're definitely lower than normal. You always see they've been painting it up. We'll see a light switch here. What's over here? It's a low ceiling. That's the only negative about this property. Otherwise, I love the property. It does have a nice big closet in there. Closet's huge for the size house. Here's our other bathroom that we're doing some work to. And we did turn that fan off so you can hear me. It's replacing these faucets here. It looks good. Toilet's good. We moved the vanity was over here, and just kind of weird. And actually, it wasn't my idea. It was the contractor. He asked me, should we move it over here? And I actually thought it was a great idea. So I really like how it flows now. It just flows really good. So all that's looking good. Some progress. So I'm happy with all that. Just wish they were farther along. I haven't been here in about a week. I check my jobs usually once a week, at worst once every other week. This has actually probably been about a week and a half. So, all right, so that's this job. It does like their progress. Things are moving along. Sal looks good. I'm happy with it. I think we have another, probably at this pace, several more weeks because they have to paint the outside. So we still have a little more time. Stairs and head outside and then head to the next job. The next job is one that I don't lose money very often, but I'm teeter-tottering on this next one. So not very happy with it. I think in 26 years I've been doing this, I've lost money on probably less than 5 projects. I bought and sold over 600 properties, several thousand units. This next one, I might end up losing money. I'll kind of give you a little bit of a story on this one. Probably as I'm driving here or when I get there. So we'll see you at the next job. I was leaving this job, and I don't know about you, but snakes always kind of freak me out. I think they're super cool, but they freak me out. As I was walking out, this is the one I was just leaving, heading to the next one, but I want to show this to you. This thing here, I was like, is that a snake? I think it's actually just some really big, cool rope, I guess. I don't know. Any of you know what it is? It's pretty interesting. It ain't no snake though, I thought it was. Oh, there's a neighbor. Hear him yelling over there. Interesting characters in this area. It's a really cool area, but interesting characters. And no snake, thank goodness. All right, let's head to the next shop. So I'm at the next house here, and actually, the whole time I was driving here, I'm gonna turn this air conditioning down in case it's blowing into the speaker here. The whole time I was driving from that last house, I actually was on the phone with my real estate agent because we literally just got an offer on this house. So I bought this house about 2.5, 3 months ago and did some work to it, roof, AC, paint inside, some flooring, stuff like that. Nothing major as far as ripping out bathrooms or kitchens, all that's still good. But it's an expensive house, and this is actually the house I might end up losing some money on. I'm trying not to, but the market dictates that, not what I want. I've only lost money on, I think, less than 5 properties in 26 years in the over 600 that I bought and sold and several thousand units. But it happens. And what happened with this one was great area, $400,000 property, and we comped it out about $430,000. And I was pushing it because I hadn't done the deal. I try and do 5 to 10 deals a year. I used to do 5 to 7 a month, which I can't even get my head around that anymore. But that was me 20 years ago. So I'm trying to do 5 to 10 a month. And with this, when I hadn't had a deal in a couple months, I kind of paid up for it. I knew I did. Then what happened was, because it's an expensive house, it's still a nice profit margin. But what happened was, about a week into my listing, a house, almost exact same house down the street, they had kind of a fire sale. Instead of selling for $430,000, it sold for $400,000. So that wiped out $30,000 worth of profit, basically. So we started out at $430,000 just to see if we could get it. Several weeks, no showings, no offers, dropped it to $410,000. We had a showing, but they weren't interested. So then last week, right at 7 days ago, I dropped it to right under $400,000. We have an offer. They offered $390,000, wanted me to pay $10,000 in closing and another couple thousand in fix-up money and warranties, stuff like that. So we're countering. I'm going to try and counter at $400,000 and drop the closing cost to $5,000. We'll see what happens with that. I don't plan to drop it. Their logic was, well, he's going to drop it to $390,000 anyways in another week, but that's not going to happen. I felt like whenever we listed it, once we saw the other house sell for $400,000, I felt like I need to be right at $400,000 to get interest in it, and that's what's happened. So I told my broker to relay to the buyer's broker, I'm not dropping next week by $10,000. I plan to sit here for 3 weeks at least. If I get showings and get offers, I'm gonna stay at that $400,000. If I get no showings and no other offers in the next 3 weeks, then I will drop to $390,000, but I'm not dropping $10,000 next week. I'm gonna wait and see what happens. All right, so let's jump out. I like to walk these properties, and I'm gonna spend a little bit of time off camera here. I like to pick the weeds at my flower bed. It's a $400,000 house, and I don't want weeds in the flower bed. I think when somebody walks up, weeds in the flower bed are a turnoff. So I'm gonna show you the weeds in the flower bed here, and I'm gonna pick those. But I'll walk you through the house real quick. So let's jump out and see the house. So here's our house. Nice looking, big, 3,000 square foot house. And here's my arch enemies, my weeds. So I picked that out, got some weed kill. I don't like to do work at my properties, flips or whatever, but I will pick weeds. I have yard people. They want to charge a bunch extra to weed the flower beds, so we're not gonna do that. All right, let me get the key. We're gonna walk in. Actually, I'll walk around the backyard here and just kind of show you what it looks like. And then we'll go inside and then I'll do my weed picking. So we did some work here. Outside was pretty good shape. We had to scrape and paint the fascia soffit because the metal was flaking. Had to fix this wood privacy fence because it was falling apart. That all looks good. So we're going to the backyard here, nice big backyard. I'm just looking for anything weird like wood fence falling down or water leaks. I try and check these once a week, or at worst once every other week. If it's a property that's a ways from me, as in over 30 minutes, I try and get the agent to walk the property for me. This all looks good. Roof, brand new roof. So that's all good. And I actually did a brand new AC unit, as you'll see here. And I just like to make sure nothing's growing up the side of the unit. I sprayed it a week or two ago where I had some weeds growing up. But I think we're good here. I don't see any weeds. I don't want to get entangled up in there. Got your little lizard there going crazy. All right, let's go inside. Let's take a look at the inside. All right, so let's go inside here. I got the key out my little hidden lock box. Got a nice front porch here. Looks good. Painted the brick lintels up there. They were all rusted. So got those painted. All right, let's see what we got inside the house. Hopefully nobody's moved in and not paid rent. Looks empty. That's always a good sign. All right. I'd like to go through it again, make sure. Main thing is water. I had a house one time that a pipe burst in the wall. And I literally was 5 days from closing, and it flooded the house. And I had carpet, and the whole house downstairs, the 2-story house, was flooded. So thankfully I stopped in there in my weekly check and found it. I think it'd been leaking probably a couple of days. One of my crews had been there the couple of days before. So that's why I check it. You just never know. Somebody could break in, and even a nice neighborhood like this, be sleeping in there or partying it up, or really the real thing is a pipe burst, like happened at one time. That's only happened once in 26 years. I've never really had anybody break in to sleep in a nicer house than this. Of course, it's possible. And here we got our master, nice big master, pretty ceilings. Got our master bathroom. We got a toilet and our shower. That looks good. Countertop, that looks good. Nice big tub, that looks good. All right, now let's go to the other bedrooms. Before I get to my weed pulling, wish you were here. You could help me pull some weeds. I'll let you borrow one of my gloves, help me pull some weeds. Here's one of the bedrooms. We got a light on it. We don't want to waste the electricity. Just turn that light off. That costs money. We don't want to do that. All right, our bathroom. No leaks here. That all looks good, as expected. Another bedroom, beautiful, looks good. Another bedroom, beautiful, looks good. Had one family came through, said the house was too dark. So I came in last week before, and I opened all the blinds. Now it's not dark. It is darker because you got this hallway here, so it's a little darker, but not dark now. All right, so this all looks good. So house looks good. I like to check them, make sure everything's good. Make sure somebody hasn't turned my AC down to 68. I'm okay at 73. People walking in, feels good. Have good vibes. I'm good with that. All right, I'm gonna go out and pull some weeds, and then we're heading to one more I just sold yesterday. I'll give you the numbers on that.
Right on Patriot Boulevard.
All right, just ignore my GPS there. All right, so heading to the next house here.
Turn right
So
on Mace Patriot Boulevard.
She's so bossy. Alright, so heading to the next house here. Got my weeds pulled, and this is why I like to check it, because last time I was here a week and a half ago, there weren't any wasps on the front porch. But this time, there was a wasp nest, and they were eyeing me, man. They were getting all fluffed up. They were ready to fight, and I wasn't ready to fight them. I didn't have my wasp spray. I would have gone toe-to-toe with
Half a
them.
mile. Turn left on Norris Road.
Let her do her thing. So I messaged my agent to see if she had any wasp spray. If not, then I'll bring some wasp spray. But I just like to check it to make sure flower beds don't leak bad, water's not leaking, wasps aren't by the front door going to sting potential buyers, which is immediately turn them off. So that's the kind of stuff I'm looking for. So the next house I'm going to take you to is actually one I just sold yesterday. I only bought it. I bought it right about a month ago, and it's a drive. It's like 45 minutes away. I don't like to buy houses that are more than 30 minutes away, but this was okay. We ran numbers, and actually we're a little conservative on our ARV, so I actually ended up doing pretty good with it. And so I figured I'd talk to you about it and tell you about it while I'm driving here. Now, it's located out in the boondocks, basically, but
1,000 feet. Use the
I'm
left
actually
lane
going to
to
turn her
left.
off. Let me turn her off. I turned her off. Hopefully I don't get distracted and forget where I'm going. All right, so this property I'm taking you to sits on right about 5 acres. And the weird kind of cool thing about it is that it's surrounded by solar farms. I mean, a lot of solar farms. I'll try to remember to get some videos when we get closer so you can see it. But it's surrounded by a lot of solar farms. So I just wasn't sure if that was going to hurt our value or help it. I know with some electric plants that people don't tend to like to be around, that kind of stuff. But the solar farm, I didn't know. And I actually didn't do well in a house I bought out in the country last year. I think I barely broke even on that thing. And so I was a little hesitant to buy another one in the country. And I said, you know, if I'm going to buy one in the country, I'm buying one that I'm going to make sure I make some money on, make sure I have a good profit there. I'm sorry if my phone's bumpy. It's because this road is like, there's all kind of bumps in the road. Hopefully it gets better. So it sits on 5 acres, surrounded by solar farms, huge solar farm plant here, as you're going to see. But because of that, it's really quiet. There's a slight hum I heard a few times when I was out there walking around the yard. So I don't really know what that's all about, but overall it's super quiet. Sits a couple miles off the road. The road I have to turn on to get to, it's called Roach Road, which roach is not something I like when it comes to my real estate, but I didn't see any roaches, but I'm sure there are because the house is nasty. So anyways, made an offer to the sellers, and it was mom's house. Talking to the sons, mom was in a community center, not a community center, but in a nursing home. She's gotten older and can't, I guess, take care of herself. She needs some help. So she was in a nursing type of home. So sons were the ones that contacted us, made them an offer, and they wanted like 10, 15,000 more. I can't remember exactly, but quite a bit more. We told them we couldn't do that. So they said, one son said, well, I'm gonna try and sell it myself. So they did, and a couple months later they called us back and said, can you do any better? So I was like, well, the market's kind of soft. I'd rather go down, but I'll give you a couple more thousand if you'll help put a deal together today. Anyways, did a deal. So bought it for, I think we bought it for 97. And my goal on this one, because it's so far away, is to turn it as fast as possible, because I don't want to be driving 2 hours round trip to check on a job once a week and check on a contract and all that stuff. So I just decided to list it for sale. And this is a tip that's pretty big. I don't use the same agent even in a whole city. I like to find the agents that are rock stars in those communities or those areas. And this one's located outside the city by about 30 minutes to the north. And actually it's an hour from my house. So I had an agent I used in this area to help me sell the other one that I kind of made a little money on, broke even. And I just decided I don't want to use that person again. I wasn't very impressed. And so I went hunting, went online, did some research, made some phone calls, and screened them based on Randy's screening techniques for real estate agents, and got an awesome one. She was awesome. So we listed it and immediately had several offers. I listed for $150, had a cash offer, 3-day inspection, closed in 2 or 3 weeks at $140. We had a lot of interest in it. I said, you know what, I'm gonna hang tight. I'm like, you know what, I'll give him $1,000 because he's the kind of buyer I want to deal with. 3-day inspection, cash buyer. He's inspecting it himself, not hiring an inspector. Like, that's the kind of buyer I want. I'll give him $1,000 off. That's all I'm gonna do right now. So anyways, he took it, and we actually closed yesterday, and supposedly my wire's on the way, so that'll be nice. Nice way to start the weekend. It's Friday, And I'm actually heading to North Alabama this weekend because I mentor about 25 real estate agents through the We Buy Ugly Houses franchise. And if you're ever interested in possibly buying a franchise with the We Buy Ugly Houses franchise, Homebusters, hit me up. Happy to talk to you about it. So I'm taking the Birmingham folks and the people that are willing to drive to Birmingham and that surrounding area to dinner tonight. Good Italian place, looking forward to it. And then heading up to Huntsville for a new franchisee to meet with him next week and help him get going. So excited to do that. I love doing that with Homebusters. Really enjoy it. But I still flip and buy and have rentals and stuff. So that's the story on this one. I'm going to get my lockbox off it. It's right on my way to Birmingham. And so I'm going to swing in there, get my lockbox, hide the key, and just watch for my wire to come in. All right, so I'll probably hit you up. There's a place I like to stop at on the way to Birmingham. Really cool farm store. I might do a video when I get there. So that's all I have for you. I'll hit you up whenever we get to this property that's by the solar farm so you can see what it's like. All right, we'll see you. So I told you I'd just show you my house. It's over here by the solar farms, and here you see it's off of Roach Street. So now we're gonna drive up here and I'll show you the solar farm, show you the house. Nice quiet area. You can see the lots, a lot of space to roam and let kids play, and really pretty kind of rolling land. But then I guess one of the big utility companies came in here and bought up thousands of acres and did these solar farms you see here. So the house that I just sold it yesterday, is completely surrounded by this huge solar farm here. So I'll turn the video back on when I get to the house. So here's the house I was telling you about that got for around $97. Just sold it yesterday for $149. Really nice flip deal. Very happy to get it sold as fast as we did. All goes to show you that if you buy them right, you can make good profit in real estate without ever having to do any work. So house does need quite a bit of work done to it. And actually, we'll give you a quick walkthrough here. So let's go step inside. All right, let's do a quick walk through this house. I just flipped and see it's way out in the country. Nothing around for several miles. Solar farm is over there, also behind the house, but you can't really see it. So just kind of show you the amount of work it needed, because one thing I run into with a lot of the investors I work with is they say, well, if you don't fix it up, you can't make any money, so you gotta fix it up. Well, you see very dated, dirty, old stain in the ceiling, big old heavy piano. My back is so happy that I'm not gonna have to move that. Stuff been sitting there so long, spider webs. Ooh, wallpaper is interesting. Look at these cabinets. See that? Oh, with mold, moisture. I'd call that a dated stovetop. What do you think? I'd call that a dated, is that toaster oven? Is that what it is? Countertops are okay, but cabinets just messed up. Take you out in the garage, you can see how rough this is out here. Let's look at the garage. Rough. It is rough. Moisture problem. See a little mold there. All right, let's go back in. Oh, missed that. A little rust on the door. Let me turn this light switches off. I'm still paying power here. Even for the new guy, I don't want to run up this power bill. I delete the power out of my name. Here's the backyard. Bit overgrown. Actually, when I was looking at this, I came out to do my inspection, and there was a deer stuck in the backyard. It kept running and hitting the fence because it couldn't, I guess, see the fence, but it saw me back there. It was kind of freaking out. Yeah, it was gonna kill itself, so I just quickly got out of the backyard so it quit beating its own head against the fence. Now, my brother-in-law, he probably would have shot that thing, but I'm not a big hunter like he is. I like meat, but I'm not a big hunter. All right, I like to hunt for deals. See, I found this deal. Ended up making me good money. Good money on this deal. Around 30. They ended up netting around 30,000. Bought it for 97, sold it for 149 after commission. couple closing costs, pay my franchise fee to Weeb Ugly Houses franchise I own, around 30. I actually had somebody who helped me buy it, so I gotta pay her. She's a percent of profit. So as you can see, definitely deals. You can do deals without having to do any work. I just wanted to show that to you. All right, well, that's all I got for you on this video. I'll see you soon.